What's up, everybody? It's Let's Get Paranormal with Joey. Yes, I'm flying solo today. The show started that way, so we've gone full circle. Cameron's not here. He's been missing in action. Oops, there's my microphone. He's been missing in action for about a month, so we're just going to continue on. So, yeah, because I care about you guys. You know, I don't want to leave you guys hanging. So we're going to keep doing, I'm going to try to do as many episodes by myself and stuff like that. We're going to have guests eventually, too. You know, I'm reaching out to people. But this train doesn't stop for nobody, so we're going to keep going. But we got another episode. Today we're going to go to Kansas, Atchison, Kansas. We're going to go all the way back to 1867. This is a place I've actually been to. Pretty scary. It's pretty weird to say that because I always wanted to go to this place, and I've seen other people go there, and some of the stuff that happened on there, it's like, I wonder if that really does happen when you're there. Me and Kyle actually went there for our last paranormal episode, the ghost hunting episode. If you haven't seen it yet, you'll see it, the card thing up here if you want to check it out later. But we're going to the Sallie house. So if you have seen like the ghost hunting show that we have, Pitch Dark Paranormal, you probably already know some of the history about this place. We're going to try to go a little deeper into the history, and then we're going to talk about some of the things I experienced there, since I can actually give you guys a first-hand account of what happened there, which is cool because most of the time I listen to stories about this place. The person's always like, I wish I went there, or we should book a trip, so they don't have like a first account. It's just other people's stories. So you got that with this one. So Atchison's is founded in 1854 by not really a great guy, a pro-slavery guy named David Rice Atchison. So that's why it's called that. So it's not named after a good guy per se, because it's after a pro-slavery dude. But the town it's nice. Like I've been there, and well, Atchison's kind of got, like, it was mostly like for lumber and milling and stuff like that, which they do still have a lot of like those factories there, which is pretty much like what I think the main jobs out there in Atchison's, because when you go down there, like, there's nothing but like industrial buildings everywhere. That's mostly what it is. It's just mostly industrial buildings with sprinkled with like attraction, like historical buildings and stuff. But what's also famous about this place is that Amelia Earhart, the famous worldwide renowned aviator, Amelia Earhart. So her house, her birth house is actually there. She grew up there with her grandparents and her mother, and in that house. And what's crazy is I've been to that house too. It's crazy. You're gonna that episode should be coming out soon. It's just we're backed up on Dark Travels video, the one before, because the guys haven't been able to record anything, do the intro for this other place, so we're kind of like backlogged on the Dark Travels thing. Amelia Earhart's gonna be another one. Spoiler alert. But yeah, so me and Kyle went there and checked that place out. The Amelia Earhart. It's cool being somewhere that's historical, somewhere where someone like I didn't know her personally, but hear stories and history about her and all the stuff she did, and then actually being in a house where she grew up it's a trip. Beautiful house, beautiful home. All the houses in Atchison are like Victorian and like kindly slightly like look like New Orleans kind of type buildings, wood paneling buildings. Some of them look like fucking castles. It's a beautiful like housing over there. It's amazing. Like if I didn't mind living in the middle of nowhere, I probably would move over there, because some of the houses I found over there were actually not that expensive. Like a house that you could find out there is probably worth $1 million over here. You get it for about, I don't know, like $100,000 over there. But the house, like every time we were driving around, every time I looked around, there was a house that I was like, damn, that'd be nice to see what the inside of that one looked like, you know? And like, damn, it's probably haunted too, because all those houses are older than fuck. But they were like well kept, so they look really nice. But let's get to so then there's another house that was honestly just down like on the next block from Amelia Earhart. So Amelia Earhart actually probably walked by this house a couple times and seen it and stuff like that, and probably knew the people that lived there. But this house was built It's roughly between 1867 and the early 1870s. So it's like around there. It was built there. There's not really like concrete like time frame when it was actually built. It was built by a doctor or a family, the family that lived there, and they had one of their sons actually went off and became a doctor and practiced medicine. He had like a really good, I guess he was really good at being a doctor, I don't know, and he started off a business somewhere else. Something happened where he had to move back to his parents' house, and he ended up living in the family house. There's like two stories that he practiced medicine inside the house, but the way the house is like laid out, and like I've even seen it myself, it doesn't look like somewhere you would practice medicine. It just looks like a regular house, like unless he like converted like the whole kitchen or like the dining room or something, but it didn't look like that at all. Maybe the basement, that'd be creepy though. Imagine like, you know, like, oh, come here, and the doctor takes you to the basement. That'd be kind of creepy. So I don't think he did, but there is another like thing that people said that he might have had a business that was just down the road, which the town is just down the road, honestly. Like it's on the hill, and if you just go maybe like 2 blocks down, the town's right there. So it would make sense that he maybe had like an office down there, and the town probably knew him. You know, they knew he was a doctor. You know, all the town, because the town's pretty small. It's only like 10,000 people that live there, like maybe even less back then. But yeah, so I'm pretty sure the whole town knew he was a doctor. So anyways, he lived there. He was practicing medicine. He was a doctor, possibly had an office down in town. So one night, the doctor heard a knock at his door, a frantic knocking at the front door, and he went to the front door, opened the door, and he was greeted by a woman that was panicking and frantically hysterical and holding her daughter, saying that her daughter needs help, and knowing that he's a doctor, maybe he could help, you know, right away. He brought her in, took her into where the kitchen area is. There was a table in there, put the girl on the table, and then he quickly like figured out that, you know, her appendix was about to, you know, fucking burst. So that's what was bothering her. He decided to start trying to operate on her because he needed to start doing emergency surgery because her appendix was probably about to burst, so she had to take it out. So he gave, there's two stories that he didn't even give the little girl an anesthetic, like any kind of fucking pain reliever, and he just started cutting into her. There's the other one is that he gave her some kind of anesthesia, but he didn't wait for it to kick in. But either way, the story goes is that Sallie felt everything. So when he started cutting into her and she started screaming in pain from, you know, getting cut open with a surgical knife, he still didn't stop. He just kept cutting because he knew he had to get that appendix out. But unfortunately, Sallie was just screaming and screaming, and she eventually bled out or died from the pain, but she did die that night while the doctor was operating on her. So it's really sad because like that's crazy, like just cutting into somebody without like them having like any kind of like pain reliever or anything. That's nuts. And it's a little girl. She's like maybe like, I think she was like 6. She's like 6 years old, so that's pretty young. And for her to feel that kind of pain, first off, she's already feeling pain that she's never felt before with her appendix, you know, about to fucking burst. And then there's the other pain that she's probably never felt anything like that either, is getting cut open with a fucking knife by a man she doesn't even know in the middle of the night. So that's like that's the story of the Sallie house. Like that's like the story of like the lore and the origin story of that town with that house and what happened there, and why all this future stuff that we're about to talk about is why kind of starts off with this story. So let's fast forward to 1992. New Year's Eve. So a family, the Pickmans, it was Deborah and Tony Pickman, and she was actually expecting a child. She was pregnant at the time, and they decided to rent this house, and they moved in on New Year's Eve. So it seemed pretty hopeful for the couple. You know, they got a new house, this 3-bedroom house with a basement, a big living room, dining room, kitchen, and they have a backyard and a front yard. It's actually a nice house. They move in, you know, expecting to make it their family house. And it was only 30 days of normal, every day-to-day house stuff until stuff started happening. Family said that they experienced a lot of cold spots, mostly around the stairs for some reason. which was strange because they didn't have a central AC at the time. It was actually, they only had the unit for AC was in the downstairs area, which the stairs is actually blocked off from, like, it's not blocked off, but there's a wall between the stairs and the living room. So you can't even, there's no way there's air getting through a wall, which is weird because they said they would get cold spots on the stair, mostly on the stairs. And then another thing that started happening right away was that some of their pets, they had 2 cats and a dog, and they said that the dog was he never barked or anything. He wasn't just like a barking dog that just barked at everything. He was a pretty calm dog, and that's when he started doing that. He would like go into the like face where there's nothing there and would start barking, like most ghost stuff that happens where the animals start acting strange. It's always the same kind of activity. And then the cats too, their hair would stand up on their back, and they would fucking like they're protecting the family kind of. So that all happened right after like 30 days of living there. So it was pretty damn quick. So let's move a little forward to March and May of 1993. It was like her last trimester because, like I said, she was pregnant. They would, in the middle of the night, they'd be woken up by screaming in the house, like screaming like they're getting murdered, which lines up with the whole Sallie story. And sometimes they'd be like hearing like almost like furniture was moving around or something, but then they would look and there was no furniture moved around. A lot of like knocking and huge like banging, like someone dropped something on the floor, like someone dropped a bowling ball or something on the floor. So a lot of that was happening like almost every night. And then of course the cold spots and the animal stuff was still happening. There was another thing that Deborah, she would be in the kitchen cooking, and I guess the oven timer for some reason would always increase time when she would cook. It would always like say like she put 12 minutes, and she would look again and it'd be like at 14 or 15 minutes, like 3 minutes were added or something. So which for me, like electronics, sometimes ovens, electronics, it's not really that sophisticated, so maybe it would glitch. You never know. Sometimes old stuff just kind of doesn't work anymore. But she ended up buying other oven timers so she could use that, because she probably thought the same thing as I did. And she would buy these other timers, and she would put them, set them to a certain time that she needed, and still did the same thing. It would increase time, and something would always mess with it. Sometimes it would even go off when she wasn't even in the room, or she hasn't even been cooking the whole day or hours. And this happened with guests over, that they would just start going off. Like she bought multiple ones of these. She thought maybe they're just all defective, but they would all go off at certain times or at different times of the day and stuff like that. And so that's pretty weird. And there's another thing, that her phone line, her landline, would not work most of the time. Like it would be really staticky, or she couldn't even complete a phone call like at all, which is pretty common for like ghost stuff. They do affect like electronics and stuff like that, but it's a landline. Like I understand like a cell phone, but landlines are a little more to affect that. So I don't that's pretty trippy. Like imagine if like she like it's not even someone that called her or anything, I just see her fucking ghost voice coming through the thing. So after they had their child, she wanted to paint the nursery right away. And even though the doctor told her like, hey, like you should probably rest for a little bit, but she was just so ready to get the nursery. And actually the nursery is that back corner room. It's like when you go up to the top of the stairs, it's the first room that's right in front of you on the left. Like you can go up the stairs and like look right into the room. And so that's what became the nursery, and that's actually one of like the more activity rooms, which we're about to talk about. So she went in there, and then for some reason they couldn't decide on the nursery colors, like the color scheme. But for some reason they feel like they just knew they should paint it baby blue and like a faint pink. So she feels like she was influenced by something that was there. And what's weird about, she did those colors and everything like that, and she painted the room, but she feels like it was influenced by someone else because they could not decide on a color, which is weird for me because I have an experience, me and Kyle does, because Kyle, when we were there, he was in a sensory deprivation mode. It's where you're blindfolded, your ears are muted, and you're just trying to sense something in the room, or sometimes spirits will try to talk to you telepathically or something like that, or show you images inside your mind. So he's just sitting there, and he has noise canceling headphones on, so you can't hear anything, see anything. And it's like a remote kind of one, so I'm asking questions through a microphone into the room where he's at. So I'm outside the house, and he can't hear the questions I'm asking. So I'm asking questions, and he says he feels like someone's there. And I remember specifically asking this question. I was like Sallie, what's your favorite color? And Kyle, I swear this is in the video. He's like, whoa, like for some reason I see like blue, like sky blue, like baby blue. And that's exactly the color that they picked to paint that room, was baby blue.
I've seen colors.
Are you showing him your favorite color? So Kyle can sometimes, if he's channeling hard enough, he can see.
Like baby blue?
Is that your favorite color, baby blue, the sky of the color? Do you like this being here, Sallie? At that time. So that's really weird, that the coincidence of her story that I didn't even read until after we did the investigation. And then when Kyle was seeing those colors in his head that she was showing him, yeah, and it's so weird. So it makes sense. It totally makes sense. And that's why I kind of like that I've been there and experienced some stuff, so I can kind of like give you my own stories about this place. So yeah, so that was kind of weird. And then there was another thing that kept happening there. And this is when the activity started getting worse. Like, well, not worse, but just like more active. So they had like shelving or like on the floor and stuff like that. They had these teddy bears that decorated like the whole baby room. You know, like babies' rooms, they usually have like teddy bears everywhere, like dolls and stuff. They had teddy bears all over, and they would leave them a certain way, and then this happened more than once. They would leave, come back, like if they went to town, grocery shopping, went to eat or whatever, church or whatever the hell they do. They came back, and the teddy bears would be in a perfect circle. So they thought it was maybe just like Tony's brother doing a prank or something like that, because they know they've had, but he swore he didn't, and it happened many times. And so after that, they started like, because they kept feeling like, and they kept smelling like odors like rotten meat and sulfur and stuff like that, and that's usually not good. That's usually like linked to like evil stuff, usually like demons, if you believe in that kind of thing. But what's weird is that, so one day, I think it was Tony's mom that heard about all the things that are going on in her son's house, and decided and remember that she knew or had a friend that their daughter used to live in the house before they did. So she called that person, and then she was telling her, like, when I lived there, my son used to play with a little girl named Sallie, and we thought it was just like an imaginary friend. And I guess the boy used to sleep in the room with the walk-in closet. So if you go up the stairs, it's the room to your right. As you go up the stairs, you can see the room. It's a door right here, because there's like a fence thing. I don't know what the hell they're called, like a banister. And then you can see it right there. And there is a walk-in closet. And I guess the boy in there, and he used to play in that closet. And he said he used to play with Sallie, a girl named Sallie, in there. And they just kind of blew it off because they thought it was like a imaginary friend, you know, like kids do. And then the daughter also said that his toys would be like out or rearranged, and she would get after him like, hey, I told you to put your toys away. Why are your toys out? And the boy would just be like, no, it wasn't me. It was Sallie. It wasn't me. And like she would always say like, oh, she just blew it off thinking like, oh, it's just kids, you know, not taking responsibility for what they're doing. You know, kids lie. You know, that's just how kids are. But that would always happen, like his toys would be out or something like that. And she said that she would also smell like a foul smell, like rotting meat, or like, yeah, just like sulfur smells, like, and cold spots, and pretty much everything that the Pickmans were going through is what she confirmed that what she was going through. So now the Pickmans know that something is in there. So they decided, which is crazy, this is crazy, they decided to try to contact Sallie. So weird. But hold on, I'm jumping ahead a little bit. So I think the mom decided to contact a medium that was that lived near Atchison. I can't remember her name, but they contacted her, and I guess she's like really good at like figuring out what's like in people's houses and stuff like that. Well, this medium, she didn't even have to come to the house, and she didn't even know the story about what's going on. the mom called her and like, hey, I want you to figure out what's going on with my daughter's house. They're having like weird activity there. And this lady, before even hearing anything that's going on, she's like, there's a little girl in your daughter's house or your son's house named Sallie, and she's protecting a baby, a male baby, an infant baby. And that like pretty much just like two people saying a girl's name is Sallie in that house. Like a person that used to live there, and then a medium that's not even been there, but she has some kind of power where she can kind of tell or project herself into places they can figure out. So that kind of like totally confirmed with the Pickmans, you know. And then the baby boy, I'm guessing, is their child, the one that the Pickmans just had, the newborn. So it's fucking creepy. Like, I'm getting a little creeped out here. I'm all alone right now, which is rare because it's nighttime. It's just nighttime right now too. So I'm getting a little creeped out just thinking about this place. And I've been there before, you know. So that's a trip. I don't even like this. The psychic hit it right on the nose. So the Pickmans decide, instead of moving out, like I get it, like most people like, I would move it out of there. It's like, well, when you're like don't have a lot of money and financial stuff, it's not that easy just to get up and move. You know, like if something happened here where, I don't know, like a demon was fucking eating all my pizza or something, that pissed me the fuck off. Like, I could not just get up and move because I'd have to break my lease, and we pay like 16 plus 1,600 a month to live here. But to break our lease, we have to pay double that. So that means we'd have to pay like about 14 plus grand just to get out of this house. And then we have to go go pay for the fucking other place that we decide to rent. Or if it's a house, we have to put like a down payment. So that's like 14, like shit, that's like $7,000 right off the bat if you want to move out of somewhere, which is not doable for a lot of people. You know, it's not doable for me. I'd be like screwed if I like, I would just be like, you know, I'm gonna have to deal with this demon. Like, I'm gonna buy an extra pizza for you, the demon, and myself, so you don't eat my fucking pizza, you know. But a demon eating pizza, that's like the least scariest thing. It's really annoying. Just like, fuck, man, I love pizza. The demon's like, me too. Yeah, so the Pickmans, instead of deciding to move out, which is understandably, it's financially, it's not doable probably, they decide to try to be friends with Sallie. They decide to try to contact her, call out to her. They even did this. This is nuts. I would even do this. They tried to like adopt her as their daughter. That's what they literally said. That like, if you go read their book, like they literally said like, we adopted Sallie as our own daughter, ghost daughter, which is crazy. But to them, they didn't think it was a demonic thing. They thought it was just like a regular spirit, you know, that's a little girl, you know. Obviously, if the spirit said it was protecting the child, you know. There's other theories that Sallie's not really a fucking little girl, that it's a demon mimicking a child, just to, you know, make you put your guard down. But I don't think that's the case with this one. For me personally, anyways, you can come up with your own theories, but like, I think Sallie, there probably is other spirits in that house that maybe weren't that great, you know. Like, I feel like she was like not the only spirit in that house. But after they tried contacting her and stuff like that, it just, after they realized what her name was and everything like that, the activity actually started getting worse. Not worse, but just more crazy. They actually started seeing full apparitions of Sallie, which is fucking scary. That's scary as shit. Imagine this. Yeah, so Tony, one night, he got up and he went down to the kitchen to go get some milk. I don't know who the fuck does that. It was glass of milk. That's weird. I don't ever wake up in the middle like, I need a glass of milk, man. You know, like, but anyways, sorry if you guys drink milk. I don't know if you guys drink milk. That's, to me, that's gross to me. I don't know. Like, I cook with milk and stuff like that, but I can't just drink a glass of milk. I rather have like orange juice or something like that, not just animal tit juice. But anyway, so he went down to the kitchen and he got a glass of milk, and he turned around and he saw a full apparition of a little girl with curly hair and an old dress, and he believed to be Sallie. There was another time where he saw her, and this time he was scratched violently, and every time he would see her, he would have scratches on him. And after this is when there was multiple male men that were scratched by Sallie, and it happened a few times. And there's a video of Tony actually standing there in a room. Like, you'll find it on YouTube if you look for it. But Tony Pickman, and type in Sallie house, I think. I haven't seen it myself. I'll probably watch it after this. But There's a video where it shows him in one of the rooms, and he's just standing there, and scratches do appear on his back and his body, like just out of nowhere. So you can actually see that, and there's nobody in the room. There's nobody scratching him. It's crazy. So they think that maybe, I think, anyways, that Sallie maybe attacks men because a man is the reason for her child death, which is, it's sad and it's crazy. So let me tell you another part. So since I was there, Kyle was in Estes Method at this time, and we were both upstairs. Kyle couldn't hear or see what I was asking, and up there at the top of the floor, he was in Sallie's room, sitting on the floor, and I was in, like, I guess the landing area, like the space between all the rooms. And I started asking questions, and I kept immediately started hearing knocking, like everywhere, like in every room, downstairs, on the stairs, everywhere in the house was like I was hearing knocking all around. Like if you watch the video, you can't really hear it, but like it was happening. And this is where Sallie kind of told us what happened to her. She pretty much ran the whole story. Even her mom was there too, I think. So what happened in that Estes Method? Kyle was in the Estes Method. I was asking questions, and she started saying, like, I'm hurting, and then I need help. He's hurting me. He's cutting me. And just told us the whole story. It was really creepy. And then she said, like, I would have been 7. I would have been 7. And then Kyle somehow contacted her mom, because I think so anyways. This is just me guessing. He said that, or he was saying that another woman was saying, like, I trusted you. I came to you for help, and you took her from me. And, like, I'm pretty sure that was the mom that brought the little girl to the house, you know, thinking the doctor could save her daughter, and ended up killing her. So it was a really creepy thing because I was hearing noises throughout the whole time of that. And then there was a weird time where Kyle kept hearing 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6, like over and over again. So that was another experience that we had there. And I'll play the clip next, but that's mostly what happened to the Pickmans there. Before I get sidetracked, they did end up moving out because the activity did get worse, and Tony kept getting scratched, and they kept seeing her apparition. They decided to move out, and of course that's when a bunch of different paranormal investigators like us go there and check it out and have their own stories and stuff like that. Ghost Adventures, BuzzFeed, Watcher, Twin Paranormal, Sam and Kobe. You know, we had a doll move there that night, and we actually caught Sallie's voice, and it did sound like a 6-year-old girl. And that just creeped us out. Like, we'd even know we caught something until I was editing like a few weeks later is when I caught that sound of her voice. And it does sound like a little girl just telling Kyle like she can't have his doll. Creeped us out. Creeped Kyle out because he was like, what if I didn't have the noise canceling headphones? I probably would have heard it. I was like, probably, because it sounded like it was right behind him, like coming out of her room. So, but that's the Sallie house. It's a creepy place. You can actually stay overnight if you're brave enough to go visit Sallie for $400, I think, or $300. I'm not really sure. But there's other things to do in Atchison's. There's a lot of historical sites. You can go check out the Amelia Earhart Museum. Pretty cool place. It's not that expensive at all. Nice people that run it. Really knowledgeable of Amelia's life, as they should be, because they work there. But there's not like too many sites. It's mostly like restaurants, but because it's really still like a mill place. It's really still like an industrial town, just like when it was founded. But if you like that story, please hit like, and if you're not subscribed yet, like half of you guys that watch this stuff that aren't subscribed, please subscribe. But that's Let's Get Paranormal, and I'm Joey, and I'll see you guys next time.